commend the board, management, and staff of the Bank of Ghana and the PMMC for their relentless support and cooperation in seeing to the fruition of this historic national project. The establishment of this refinery is a strategic investment which contributes immensely to government's efforts in ensuring value addition of our mineral resources. Currently, our country's gold is exported in doré form to be refined outside Ghana, resulting in lost revenue and missed opportunities for job creation. Between 2018 and 2023, Ghana's average annual gold production was 3.92 million ounces. That is 122.5 tons. All this gold was exported unrefined, resulting in lost revenue, as I have stated. The refinery, which we are commissioning today, will offer premium to gold exported from Ghana. Initially, it is expected to create 80 to 120 direct jobs and another 500 indirect jobs, boosting domestic tax revenue in the form of corporate taxes and enabling us to refine to 24 carats, that is 99.99% purity, the same quality as a good delivery bar LBMA standard. With the ability to locally refine our gold, we will be able to sell the refined gold at its appropriate price, enabling us to retain its economic value within our borders, while creating numerous job opportunities for the youth.
Yes, guys. So Ghana is establishing a gold refinery, as we have seen the news that came out yesterday within the local media platforms. And of course, that news also reached the international platforms, the other international platforms like Reuters, of course, which copied it. They copied it from the local media news platforms where they started in their capacity to comment on it themselves. Now, what they are saying is that the refinery, which is called the Royal, Ghana Gold Refinery, that is being established in Accra, will be able to refine up to up to 400 kilograms every single day. All right, it will be able to refine up to 400 kilograms every day. The refinery, the details about this refinery is that 80% of it is controlled by an Indian company, Rose Royal Minerals of India, as we are seeing here, and the government of Ghana will control a 20% stake within the country, within the refinery. Now, what also they said previously, because these negotiations started way back in 2021 in order for them to establish a refinery in Ghana. Now, what they are saying is that after 5 years, there will be renegotiation of these contracts which were signed, of this contract that was signed, so that the government of Ghana can have the ability of acquiring extra shares so that it can be able to control about 50% of the refinery. And of course, this is something that is to be applauded. We have to applaud this. We have to really applaud this. This is a good initiative. It was launched by Ghana's current vice president within Ghana, the vice president, of course, who is also contesting to become a president currently. So he's campaigning, and Ghana is going to vote later on in December. So it could be, of course, strategic, tactic as a voting member, as somebody who wants to be voted into power as a president. So they decided to launch the refinery to refine Ghana's gold. Now, Ghana has been refining gold for centuries, more than a century, more than 100 years. And the first person who built a refinery it was Dr. Kwame Nkrumah who built one in 1963. So while many people are saying that this is the first refinery, this is not actually the first refinery. Ghana built a refinery under Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in 1963. But that refinery, when Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was removed from power by the existing government, the current government, by when he was removed by the help, with the help, of course, the existing government, and the CIA, they helped. Okay, they are forefathers, the ones who formed this existing political party, the current ruling political party. They helped to overthrow Nkrumah. They are forefathers. When they removed him, the same people, of course, destroyed most of the industries, the strategic industries, which Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had established within Ghana, of course, which was very unfortunate. So this is not the first time Ghana as a country has had, a gold refining facility within the country. But of course, the other thing which we would want to talk about is the fact that this facility is not wholly owned by Africans. Are we simply incapable of, establishing such a facility, or does it cost so much? So these are the questions that we want to ask ourselves, even as this refinery is being established and we are celebrating it. And then, of course, what is the problem really? Is it that we don't have money? Is it that we don't have the technology? The technology, we can't say that we don't have the technology, because many countries have this technology. Even China has this technology. India itself has this technology. So to go out there to buy this technology, we do not think that this, is not possible, that it is not possible that these guys will give us this technology. They would not refuse to give us, this technology if we wanted it, that we want to use this technology to refine our, our own gold. Okay. Now, what India did in coming in, of course, I say that this project is started in 2021. This was published in November 2021. This news was published in November 2021, even though the first news, of course, was for yesterday. It came out yesterday, and the refinery itself was launched yesterday. Now, what this news says here is that India is actually investing just $25 million. We all know that the government, Ghana's government, under President Anado and the current new patriotic party, have borrowed ever since they came power in 2017. They have borrowed close to $100 billion. All right. I mean, no, they have borrowed at close to $11 billion, not 100. They have borrowed close to $11 billion. Now, the question we ask, would they not, establish, what stopped them from establishing a gold refining facility out of all this money that was borrowed, all this period? Is it lack of vision, or is it lack of capability? Did they not see the need to refine gold out of all this money that was borrowed? Because India is just investing 25 million. Mind you, this government borrowed up to $11 billion. So we ask a question: why didn't they invest 11, out of the $11 billion? Why didn't they invest just $25 million to establish this kind of facility? And of course, many people will come up with different answers, but you can put your answers, your suggestions in the comment section, and we will take it from there. Now, for me as a person, I see this as a lack of vision, but I would not want you to have the same view as myself. But I see it as a lack of vision. All right, we have a lot of other mineral resources which have not been invested in by the government. So I see this, with all this money that was borrowed and misused, and there's really no tangible benefits that you can show, of that this is what was done with the money. I see this as a lack of vision, for the leadership, and and lack of understanding of what should be done with the country. There was no really critical plan which showed what should be done when the leadership came into power. Because how else can we conclude about what is happening? The fact that India itself India is investing, India is investing just a mere $25 million in this, because $25 million, even if the government wanted this $25 million, it could mobilize it within the country out of all the rich people within the country. Okay, so it is unfortunate, of course, that the government, has not been able to invest, because $25 million is really a small amount of money. Now, for us to change the paradigm, to change how the African continent is operating, because we are talking about ownership. We are talking about ownership of resources on the African continent. This is one of the important things that we have been discussing on this, channel, the ownership of our own infrastructure, the building of those infrastructures by ourselves. All right. And also, the controlling of those infrastructure using our own finances. This is very critical. So it requires us as a people to push for that. Of course, the next generation, I believe, that should be able to achieve that objective, should be able to achieve the objective of economic independence. If we look at India itself, India, its combined GDP as an economy, its combined economy, and you compare it with the African continent, actually, we are the same size in economy. Economically, we are the same size. If you look at the African continent, the African continent has a GDP altogether combined of $3.5 trillion. India has the same GDP combined of $3.5 trillion. But what we are seeing, even in our criticism recently, is that India has continuously come into Africa, even to take up our resources and infrastructure. Like we mentioned the other day, to the protest of some of our brothers from Tanzania, India came up and bought a full port for $39 million. All right, $39 million. And then it went to Kenya and say that it's going to invest about $1.8 billion in upgrading the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, which is, of course, a strategic asset, and it is an asset that is serving almost the whole East African region, because it is the busiest and the biggest airport, within the East African region. So what do we do as Africans to shift the mindset of these heads of state that do not understand that we are supposed to rely on ourselves, and the fact that also we have our own resources, as Africans, and we should use our own resources in building this infrastructure? These are questions which I cannot answer, alone, of course. So I want you to put your suggestions in the comment sections. What do you think? And we have been actually answering to most of your comments, all the videos that we have published. Everyone who has commented, we have endeavored to answer them, to respond to them. So we will not leave any comment, unanswered too, in the comment, over there in the comment section. Any suggestion you make, any comment you make, we will respond to it, as we have done, for all the previous videos. So what do you think that we need to do as Africans? What do you think, that we should bring that is new to make our heads of state understand that Africa also should own part of the resources, should own part of the infrastructure? There is no need for inviting external actors into the African continent. And like I said, the African continent has the same size of economy as India. So why, and even Africa, of course, has more resources, has more people, it has huge land, much more land. And the economy is the same as that of India. So what do we need to do as Africans to make our heads of state see, or even to bring a new system? Because they are stuck in the old way of thinking that they're supposed to sit down and wait for investors from outside. And of course, people like Dangote have already commented on this problem. The fact that the African heads of state, they go out there to look for investors. Dangote recently, when he was speaking in Bahamas at the Africa Import and Export Bank, annual general meetings, he mentioned, and even in Kigali at the Africa CEO Forum, which happened in Kigali, in May, president of Dangote Industries, who is Aliko Dangote, mentioned that we as Africans need to believe in ourselves. We need to respect the indigenous investors. we should rely on indigenous investors. We should stop moving out there to try to look for foreign investors. We have to build, this continent by ourselves. These are the words of, Aliko Dangote, the richest black man on the planet. But what do you think that we should do as Africans? Because the heads of states are not even listening to the richest black person on the planet. All right. So, what do you think that we should do as Africans? So, put that down in the comment section. Put your ideas in the comment section, and we will collect them together. When we come to talk about the Africa Railway platform, the Africa Integrated, Railway platform, and of course, we are suggesting some of these infrastructures to the African Union. We have written to it, so we will talk more about, Africa's infrastructure in general, because we have our own infrastructure that we are suggesting to the African Union, and of course, the African heads of state. But what do we do to the African heads of state to convince them? What should we do to convince the African heads of state that we need to look inside? Because look, they have refused to listen to Aliko Dangote. What then should we do as a people, as the next generation of leaders on the African continent, to assure them that we have the resources internally and we should use our own resources? We should stop, looking outside. And of course, Aliko Dangote has mentioned it. We should stop looking outside. How do we change their minds and the fact that they have almost been programmed to look outside for investment, and they don't want to look internally so that we can develop our continent ourselves, to the point that they are giving out key infrastructure projects like the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. They are giving out to these foreigners, the port in Tanzania. All right. And we are seeing that a country like Ghana, which has been mining gold for more than 100 years, the existing government doesn't see the importance of investing $25 million from its own pocket to put up this refinery, or even put up a bigger refinery so that it can refine gold for the region, from Mali, Burkina Faso, and these countries. Because Ghana really, I think that it has the capacity. Why is Ghana not investing maybe even $500 million or $100 million to put up a refinery facility for gold, and invest it for, and refine gold for all the region, which is here, instead of using this project as a political gimmick, because the current vice president is trying to campaign to get into power. So he's trying to use this as someone who has worked so hard to talk about value addition, because this is something which they normally use, the African heads of state all over the continent and all over the globe. They talk about value addition, but when they come home, they don't do that value addition. Even when we talk about the oil sector, the energy sector, Ghana, until recently, when the Chinese have come to establish an oil refinery, Ghana has an oil refinery which was established by Kwame Nkrumah in 1960, but they failed to operate that. And of course, it's not the Ghanaians, but the leadership. It's the leadership which is misleading the people. And of course, it continues to mislead in that direction, and to show that they have accomplished a lot. This is a great accomplishment which they have done by inviting, a foreign investor with a mere $25 million to refine the gold, and of course play a major role in such an important foreign exchange, earning commodity of the country. Because right now Ghana is the biggest is the biggest producer of gold on the African continent, but is losing a lot of money because of the mindset of the heads of state, and the fact that they have failed to accept that the state is supposed to play a major role in the advancement of the country. They think that the state is supposed to just leave everything on autopilot and stand on the side and not participate on behalf of the people, which is opposite of what Nkrumah, envisioned, and what Nkrumah, of course, was pushing forward. And the fact that Nkrumah was saying that the state has to be at the center stage of, of business within the country and investment on behalf of the people. And therefore, we see that Nkrumah built a lot of industries, which, of course, subsequent governments which came later on, came and destroyed all of them, or neglected, including shipping, building of ships, things like refineries for gold, meat, canning meat, and all these infrastructures. And we see that ports now have been given out to external people like the French, and they are claiming that this is public, private partnership, like what we see President Ruto doing and justifying the fact that he's trying to sell, a national asset and claiming that it is private, public-private partnership. Therefore, he has to give out the asset. What do we do to change this kind of mindset from our heads of state all over the African continent? Do that in the comment section. Put your suggestions in the comment section so that we can see what to do. Of course, this generation, we strongly believe, we on this channel, we believe that this generation has the duty of rescuing the African continent. If our generation fails, we are going to be in a lot of trouble. Our children are going to be in a lot of trouble, and our grandchildren are going to be in a lot of trouble. So put your suggestions in the comment section, and let us take on the conversation from there. We're gonna respond to all the comments. All the comments, I'll respond to them myself, and Mahlet also will respond to those comments. So we want to thank you once again. What do you think about Ghana's, gold refinery, $25 million Ghana, a gold refinery that is being established? Tell me what you think about this refinery. What do you think about the refinery? Put that in the comment section. Is it going to be beneficial, or it is another neo-colonial project as we see it? Thank you so much for being part of Connect Africa. Now, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Please like the video. You are 21 people. I want to see 21 likes, more than 21 likes, and share the video with others. Invite other people to the platform so that we can rock together, so that we can fight together. This is a fight we are engaged in, definitely, because our narrative, we have to take control of it. We don't have to take control of it in only one segment of things, like showing only the good people and correcting it, which is very good, but we have to look at all the continent in its entirety, in infrastructure and all the other parts of the continent, the energy, refining of and mineral resources, our culture, all these things we are talking about, the IMF, International Monetary Fund, because until we push out our narrative, we will always be undermined. So we have to do that. But on top of that, we said we are building on top of that, some action, forward. And that is why we are saying you should put the suggestions in the comment section. So like the video, share the video with other people, and invite others. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. We want to thank you once again. My name is Kwame Gonza, and the place, is called Connect Africa. The channel is called Connect Africa. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much.